Carter Smith Golf. I'm Maddie. Welcome to the Chinese takeaway.
Thank you. You haven't got the waterfall yet, but you're getting there.
I like what you've done with the place. It's very nice. That wood effect is very, yes.
Very 1980s, which is probably exactly when it went up.
Is it a vinyl? Is it like a wallpaper?
Yeah.
No, it's wood. It's proper.
It is. Oh, sorry.
He's in a cabin. What are you talking about?
This is the real deal.
Oh, I thought it was good.
2020 review.
Yes.
Coming back.
Well, all I can say to start off is we're here.
Yeah.
That's still going. That was a challenge.
We've got proof that isn't a green screen behind. Maddie's been walking around to prove it.
I feel like we're going to have like Val Dunicum Christmas special or something.
Do you want to sing a quick song
we're
before
we go? A little song. Get the lights.
You have got like all the lighting off and everything. I have to keep putting my lights everywhere.
Stu's taken all day doing this. Hours doing it.
Has he? So the first addition to the channel, but you were on the channel before, Maddie, but you've definitely featured heavily this year.
I'm like a giant cuckoo, Paul. I'm like a golf cuckoo.
Just keep coming in.
I'm like an imposter.
Yeah, she pops in and out.
Yeah, I know, I do pop in and out.
Well, at one point, when we started going on the shot tracers, to properly show them off, I had to have a handheld camera. My early vlogs were always kind of set up with tripods and behind the camera, and I was basically out on my own. And then when I started shot tracing, then because it was a stationary camera, I just thought, well, it's pointless. I may as well use the normal shot tracker thing.
Yeah.
And so when I started to sort of flex with the shot tracing, I had to get Maddie to come out with the camera.
Yeah.
I was just a camera girl.
And she was camera girl, and she was just getting fed up. She was itching to hit the shots.
Sorry, you were on the vlogs on your holidays before, though, weren't you? You'd been on a few before.
Oh, we've done,
we've done
some.
But then this year you really kicked in.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a kind of a decision, was it? It was just like she was there. She was dying to hit a few shots, and it kind of gets to a point where we just thought. I think other characters on the channel are quite good because I was getting fed up with myself, to be honest. It's annoying.
A bit of banter's good, isn't it? Got a bit of banter.
You still, because there's nothing you don't say to each other, isn't there?
No. Yeah, we're pretty.
She's pretty good. Because if I get a bit like boring, a bit golfy, she's sort of it's the opposite of that.
Yeah, I'll start talking about sourdough or something. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I thought you had him the other day.
Where?
Where were you playing? It was a little course that you play. There was a two-part.
Yeah, I've heard there's a bit of controversy about this. Paul, I only learnt this yesterday.
Yeah, it was actually a draw, Paul, the end of that.
Did you know that?
Well, there was a count on the last hole that went quick, wasn't it? Is that what you did?
Yeah, it was the last hole. It was a problem. She held a big putt, and I was sort of convinced in my head that she held it for not what she held it for. And so, and I even did the edit and let it go. I still didn't count it. You know what you get like. And then other people get on with it. Yeah, so she hit it right one. Two was short duff. 3 was to the back. 4 on, and she canned the big long putt with 2 shots. So
you questioned the score.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he diddled me at the end.
You said you've had 4. You had. No, you'd had 4, yeah, and he said you'd had 5. Oh man.
Yeah, I tell you, I am looking out now.
Well,
that's it.
I got to say, we're going to have to go back for a playoff. We've had a couple of requests for a playoff, so we're going to have to go and do it.
We'll have to wear our wellies if we go
at
the
moment. There have to be a huge apology to start as well.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Definitely.
Cool.
Yes.
Listen, you were supposed to be one of us, not one of them.
No, come on, it's got to be fair. We at least have to have the right score.
Especially when you're only giving it 2 shots.
Yeah, that's tight as well, isn't it? I know. I think I really.
The thing is, it's a classic with kind of like amateur or beginner style golf, let's just say, and it's so difficult to get the shots right. I know we've all got handicaps and all that sort of thing, but sometimes you'll play with your buddies, and especially like for myself, if I'm giving somebody 25 shots and they play to 10, I mean, fantastic, but it sort of ruins the day almost, in a competitive sense. So I've always, when I've played with other players, I've always said, well, let's kind of work the shots out on the first, and when we get to 9, let's try and sort of make them better, because I don't want to be 5 up and I don't want to be 5 down, because it's no good for anyone. And so it's really difficult with Maddie, because if she's getting 2 or 3 shots a hole, she can make a par, and then I can't even make a hole in one for half.
Maddie's got the shots in there, but you can miss a putt or two, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are allowed to shove one.
I do. I know it's actually embarrassing. I look at some of my other mates that I play with for years. They're like, "God, your putting is just ridiculous," and I don't know why it is because I miss them off camera all the time. But for some reason, on camera, I do make quite a few.
You're pretty streaky, aren't you?
I'm pretty streaky, yeah. Pretty streaky,
yeah.
First thing that I was going to say, the wedding should have been this year.
Oh, yeah. Cancelled wedding.
Damn
Take 10 grand though.
So, yeah, Stu's happy. He can have a little think about it again and put the money into a dot lab.
That was going to be my question: is playing golf a lot together got you questioning?
Yeah, that's it now. Yeah, we need a divorce before we even marry. We're like, oh, that's actually given us an out. So that's quite handy.
It's pretty good until she starts winning. I think it's going to get like worse.
Yeah, yeah. Will you stop playing with me then?
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
ever win?
I'll go right off you.
What is your handicap at the minute?
Me?
Yeah, you're.
It's a grey area, shall we say? But I mean, what do you think? What would you go with? 36?
I think really high, as high as you can get. You know,
Stu thinks 58.
well, whatever it is, I don't even know what the highest one is for ladies. So is it 48 or 50 something? I don't know.
We don't know. I definitely don't know.
He thinks that it's the highest you can go. I think it's 36.
Is there a plan to do a journey to get it down? Is it something that you? I'm
not going to go on some crazy journey. But I did say a while ago on the log, I said I'd like to get to 20. That's the figure in my head.
Paul, do you know what? When we joined a club called Ross on Wye, we were living really close to the golf course. Beautiful golf course. If anyone, you should go down and play. It's like a little Wentworth. It's fantastic.
I know the story.
Anyway, right. So I'd started playing again, and my coach was based at Ross on Wye, so it was like just kind of getting back into it. And Maddie said she was all very keen. I took her to the range, and she hit a few balls. And all the kids were playing. She said, "Do you know what? I fancy getting down to scratch." And I was like, "This is amazing news. This is fantastic." I said, "This is great." So I go to the coach. I'm like, "We got to support Maddie. She wants to go for scratch, you know." And I was full on, and he was kind of dubious, but you know, I get excited about these things. So the next day, we were ready on the range, hitting balls. This was great, and I was going through all the things, and I was thinking, "This is great. I can coach her right down."
Loving this.
Yeah, I was loving it. And then literally 3 days later, she didn't get up with me. I was like, "Are you coming to the range?" She's like, "Oh, no, I don't know about it."
It's cold. I don't like it in the cold.
That idea quickly got out the window.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. I don't like the wet. I don't like wind.
It's the wrong country.
Yeah, if we lived in Palm Springs,
yeah,
maybe. So it was all the energy was coming from me, and then I just give up on the energy. So yeah, she could be good, but
I thought it was a bit more of a modest, you know, to aim 20. I thought was quite good.
But honestly, does it matter really if you enjoy it? I mean, I've had to come to terms with that. You know, you just think. I mean, getting down to scratch is great, but you only end up lonely and just disappointed most of the time. You know, that's all it is. I mean, other people covet your game, but you hate it yourself. You're like, you know.
You can't. What, did you hate being a scratch golfer? Is it more fun being rubbish at golf?
I would say it's more fun. I think it's just being fun whatever level you are.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Everybody thinks it's a bit like playing an instrument. Like people say, "Oh, I'd love to be able to play the guitar, or I'd love to be able to play the piano." And you think, well, I would from nothing, having not played, let's just say the piano, which I don't play. If I could be a concert pianist tomorrow, I would love that. But doing it so slowly over 20 years, it's not so much fun because you don't get the enjoyment of being brilliant because you grow and you work and you practice and then you're there, you know. And it's the same with golf, really. You know, you have to just keep going, enjoy every phase of it. And it doesn't matter where you are. You know, if you're 18, you're 18. You know, it's great. It's fine.
Happiness is the journey and all that.
Well, I was going to say, it's no more enjoyment playing off +3 or 4 as it is playing off like 18 when you shoot 12 over. It's no more enjoyment. It's no better, you know.
But you get a buzz out of beating your own handicap, wherever you are.
I might stick at 52 in that case.
Go for it. Well, between us, it'd be great. We'll have some shots.
Don't play again till about July next year.
Yeah. It'll probably be raining then as well.
That'll be allowed out then.
Hopeless, isn't it?
How's the candle making business?
We can't actually turn the camera.
No, we can't. But there's like
maybe at the end. There's if I look down to my right, there's about 300 of them. So it's good. It's Christmas stock. I'm trying to move the Christmas stock out.
Stock. What is the website?
Cultnature.co.uk. Here we go. Look, and there's some nice little soaps.
It absolutely stinks, Paul.
It really does stink.
Does it?
We've got cinnamon and orange, everybody.
I hate cinnamon as well.
Thank you, Paul, for letting me do that.
There you go.
As
if she had any stock left. I mean, everything's gone.
It's good actually because it's been a hard year for lots of small independent makers. It has been really hard, so it's really nice.
Not as hard as it is for musicians.
Oh,
Come
here
on.
we go. Get the violin.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was the email off, sorry. So is that your full-time business as well? Is it?
Yeah. So I do. I mean, there's all sorts of little aspects to it, but yeah, it's mainly smelly soaps, candles, that sort of thing. But,
Thought of a YouTube channel for that?
Yeah. Oh no, we did think about that.
Well,
actually, Stu thought about it. He wanted me to. But...
I did. It's quite big, and it's a lot easier than it is golf. I can tell you.
Yeah,
you
it would
just
probably
see
be a good one to do, wouldn't it?
really average makers of anything. They've got like 1 million subscribers. You know.
I love it though. Personally, I love watching that sort of thing. So yeah.
She likes the AMSR thing,
ASMR.
you know. So
yeah.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Do you know that, Paul? Have you seen that?
Not sexual, is it?
No.
It's that kind of microphone.
Like,
it could be, I suppose, but it's the way they talk to the mic, and it doesn't do anything for me, but it's
like
some people love it.
Soft. We've got really bad insomnia, so anything that helps.
Right.
That. It's like, do you think it's really creepy? But it's like quiet whispering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scares me to death. She's got a phone, on her pillow, and it's kind of I hear this going on. It freaks me out. But anyway.
I've got the Calm app. Have you got that app?
Calm app.
Calm app.
Yeah.
Calm app. Calm app. Sorry, it's just the northern. It's the translation. It gets lost in translation.
Actually, we should give full disclosure. The way you say YouTube is our favourite thing.
It's our favourite thing.
We've got a little bit of an obsession
We love
with
it.
it.
Every time you say YouTube, we say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we go like, Stu goes, Maddie, do you want a cup of tea? I go, YouTube. It's just so nice to say.
It's brilliant.
What, the Northerners or just me?
Just you.
Oh, mainly you. Yeah, the other Northerners, some of the Northerners, they're not quite as good as you. I'm trying to think who else I like.
YouTube. There you go. It's class to see. We both said it.
Yeah, because every time you say it, we're going to have to say it. It's going to be an odd interview.
Oh, I'm going to keep saying it in so many ways, though.
Oh, dear.
There's going to be a YouTube.
YouTube.
You're going to become a content creator for candle making. I'm not going to say YouTube.
Yeah, no, maybe we should do that. It would be quite.
I thought that'd be a no-brainer though, because it's.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's the constant. You know what it's like. You have to just keep creating stuff, and with golf you get. Yeah. Well, I think because I'm used to it, but with golf you get so many different scenarios. If you're doing a course vlog, for instance, anything can happen, and we all follow the journey. Whereas when you get something like making whatever it might be, it's a constant thing, isn't it? It's the same sort of process. And so I think it's quite difficult unless you get all cinematic. It's very difficult to kind of do 3 a week for 3 years,
Yeah, well, I haven't watched candle making on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
But I would think that it'd be different to golf where you wouldn't have to like smash content out as fast as golf.
It's like reviewing, isn't it?
It's exactly like reviewing. There's probably there's a life because you can have Christmas candles, Easter stuff, anything.
Something there. This interview next time this year, you'll be talking to us, and Stu will be making candles and soaps, and we'll have that kind of
candles. Yeah, we'll have 40 million subscribers, but candles will be nothing to do with golf.
We'll make golf themed candles. Little golfer on the top.
Well, that was interesting with Fergs yesterday talking about he was into the perfume.
I was amazed at that. I told that story today and to somebody, and I said of all the things, and I can think of some pretty random things, but something that's associated with scent, I wouldn't have thought comes across well in a picture, but
Yeah.
It's surprising sometimes. When we were with Scott Cornell the other day, he's got a candle company. I couldn't believe it when he said that. Candles and soaps.
Candles and soaps.
What's going on? So we come to, and you mentioned it there, the daily vlog that happened that really sort of kicked in, didn't it? The comments from the log.
Yeah, it was good fun. That it was
fun.
a mad time, wasn't it? We were all kind of wondering what to do, and I wasn't really even doing it. I guess you get your constant subscribers, the people that interact with you all the time, and you feel like you want to deliver some sort of content. And when we started out, I thought I'll just do lots of tuition because we've got huge fields and stuff around us. So I thought I can still go and hit balls, and I can still do stuff. And then I sort of worked out pretty quickly that they don't really care about that. We just want to interact, don't we? We just want to
have a little gossip,
have a little chat. And so it turned from golf content to just comments from anyone about anything, And so that's where it went. And it was really, I mean, it wasn't particularly good for growth or subscribers that were into golf. And that's kind of why we didn't continue to do it. Otherwise, I would have just kept doing it forever. But I do worry that people come onto the channel expecting something to follow something,
and they get us sitting on a log,
and end up with like white dog poo and chatting about like 80s choppers and stuff,
Yeah, that's. I was saying that to Corinne yesterday with all the coffee mornings and things. It's a golf. You got to be wary that that's what it is. But you did get like lots and lots. It did take off into a thing of its own, didn't it?
I think it was nice at the time because it was quite scary, the first sort of lockdown, wasn't it? The unknown of it all. And I think the community, like you talked about with other people, like Corinne and stuff, the community is really, really important. It was really nice for that.
It was. It was like an apocalypse, wasn't it? We were all in our little shells wondering what to do. And I felt that was one way of like reaching out to say like everybody's okay, and it's sort of quite nice. And I think the nicest thing about it is the fact how global it is. So you hear from people across, internationally and their situations. And, I really enjoyed doing it and I really enjoyed editing it. I mean, it's my favorite thing to do. I mean, I'd rather do that than hitting 3 irons, to be honest.
Yeah, it was great. It definitely, like you said, we're all going stir crazy at home, and it was the daily dose of, Maddie and Stu out there, like you say, talking white poo. Like.
It got worse and worse and worse. Come the end, it was so random.
God,
I mean, it was just ridiculous.
How many was there in the end? There must have been not nearly 50. No.
We did what, in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We did. We certainly did.
Every day, didn't we?
Yeah, we did every day for the month, I think it was, or something.
It was. I think it went a bit long, maybe 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was quite a long time. But we just kept doing it.
Yeah, we did a few this time, and then we ran out of enthusiasm because of the wind and the rain and the mud.
Yeah. Well, that and we've kind of come to the realization that we'd like to kind of take it fairly seriously. And so I mean, I'd love to slaughter my own channel, but it was kind of just starting to grow momentum, and especially if you get corporate people coming in. Oh, we've got to look at this channel to see what it's all about. What are they talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't make a good impression.
Just one comments from the bog would have been
that would have been it, enough to sort anything out.
Yeah, is that the way you see your channel going? That trying to do more corporate stuff.
We actually are.
Yeah, we are at the moment. Yeah, we've had some nice inquiries to do quite a lot of, I think, sort of resort course type stuff. And we have been aiming to do that. We've done some bits already, which has not come out, and it's just a case of piecing it all together. And I think it is, it's like a business card. Every vlog you do, if you're going to take it sort of seriously in that fashion. My problem is I started spending a lot of time on the shot tracing and all the graphics and all the cards. I just wanted it to be as good as anything else out there. And to be honest, not many people were doing it. I think Golf Sidekick was doing it. He does a really good job. And I looked at that and I thought, right, well, I want to be at least as good as that. And so when I got my traces, I felt in my mind whether people liked watching it or not. It was like the best representation of, the graphics and the shot tracing and all those aspects. And then, because I like to try and do things, I'm sure other people do as well, but I like to try to do things like as good as anybody else can do it. If someone's hitting golf balls, I want to hit it as good as those guys, and that kind of thing. And I've always had that sort of niggle in my head. So really, it's less about millions of people watching and more about, I can do that, I'm going to do it. And it's that chase moving up, And so I think I kind of got to a point where I'd put something of quality up, and I didn't want to throw something up after just So I know you're quite in this kind of ethos of just whack it out. But that's absolutely fine until you say to somebody really serious, look at my content. You almost can't say to them, you've got to look at this video, that video, and that video, and ignore all the other ones.
I agree. And but like I said, my ethos is, who is your ideal viewer? Who is
right.
And in response to that.
And yours is for corporate viewers.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want regular people to watch it, but your mindset is that who's my perfect viewer? And it's somebody who runs a resort, wants me to come in, do a series of videos, get paid. That's different, isn't it? That's different than...
Yeah. And
I'm talking about people who just can't get anything out. It's just pussy.
Oh, yeah, just get it out, for sure. And exactly like you're saying. I think, and I've like many of the guys, I watch a lot of Peter McKinnon, and I watch a lot of these guys that do these kind of very relaxed tutorials and very relaxed kind of daily vlogs that are actually incredibly technical. And when you look at them walking down a staircase, there's 15 different camera moves. And most people don't see it because it just breezes by because we're used to seeing that content on TV or on the movies. But knowing when you're creating it yourself, you know that the color grades taken hours. And so actually those little throwaway flippant things that you watch are incredibly complex and detailed. And often they've got a team working on it as well. So I think it would be nice, but it's very difficult to do those casual ones really, really well,
Yeah, so you're at quantity, so you're quality over quantity, are you? You're looking at...
We're looking at that.
Even that's difficult because we know that really we've got to deliver something at least 3 or 4 days a week. If we're going to get a jump on the people, you've only got to look at like the James Robinsons and these guys that are pumping out daily content. It does work to a certain extent if you just pound it with it. But if you set your bar very high, you just can't do that. You just can't kind of do that quality 5 days a week. But we've got the time, and to be honest, I'm the sort of nut that will stay up all night long editing just because it annoys me if I don't. If it's in the back of my head, I've got to do it.
I was like, you've got to stop the 14-hour edits, man.
Well, this is it. I just can't stop because when I press upload, if there's something that bugs me, like sometimes I've uploaded 3 or 4 times and it can take a long time to upload. You know what it's like with the edit.
I'm going to change that.
I've got to change it. So I've got to bring it down again and do it again.
You love it.
I've got.
It loves nothing more than a 22-hour edit, honestly.
And honestly, Paul, I've got like 20 full vlogs, episodes and reviews already up on my channel, hidden, waiting to send out. And I'll probably watch all those loads of times and then probably change them again, But it's nice to be ahead for me and also nice to have that. I don't want to chuck it out and not have the chance to change it,
Have you chucked something out where you've just gone, I'm not putting that out? You've got...
Yeah, and I've taken it back down again,
I'm not releasing that.
Yeah, I've got a few problems, and that is I'm dyslexic, so I'm not very good at spelling. I do get through things, but I'll put a vlog out, or I'll do something and spend hours and hours on it, and then Maddie will watch it, if I can get her to watch it, and then she'll say, it's got a typo on it, and I'll say, like I've spelt weekly with an E and an A in it or something, and she'll say, well, you can't do that. I was like, oh no, surely they know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, right, but would Eric or Rick or one of the kind of the pros out there, would they have a big typo? And I'm like, no, they wouldn't, so...
It's attention to detail, but it's also, you've got a deadly combo of dyslexia and attention deficit disorder. So he knows that the mistakes are in there, but he can't be bothered to go and change them because he sort of wants to move on to the next thing. Yeah. So, like the last one, it was quite. It's doing well now. The review, whatever driver review it was, and there was a little section with 4 words, and each one of those words was spelled incorrectly. I'm like, well, you just
do you know? I put them in, and I'd spent, I don't know, 2 hours finding a font for them to get the perfect font, and then I thought I'll go back and I'll change it because I'm sure they're spelt wrong, and I forgot.
I was just like, take it back to the drawing board. Yeah, take it back.
So it's nearly impossible. I don't know how these filmmakers do it. I mean, I would just never get the film out. It'd just go forever.
Yeah, people can spell unlucky. I look at something and go, that's how you spell it, and that's the problem. That you think it's how you spell it. And somebody just comes along and goes, well, what have you spelled it like that for?
Yeah.
I used to have, when I did Blue Jeans Media and I was fishing for work off people, I used to simplify your business and I spelt simplify wrong.
Oh, brilliant.
And it was
do you know, I've got a good one.
Oh God!
I was going to try. I've been thinking about trying to outdo Paul Jackson, but it's going to be very, very difficult. But yeah, I've got a load of stories that can get me into trouble. But this is one that may. Obviously, I'm a professional musician, guitarist, and I used to, before I was like full-time performing, I used to do a lot of teaching, and I was and being dyslexic, as you know now, I would be doing end-of-year reports in schools. And I used to teach all kinds of different pupils, and I used to teach in boys' schools and girls' schools, private schools, and so on. And I would have to kind of write reports for like 50 or 60 kids at the end of in one particular school. Anyway, this one girls' school, the teacher, the head teacher guy, got me in and said, "Could we go through your reports that you've written?" Because he would check them first. And I said, "Yeah, sure. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, the first one I'll bring out is that I'm sure he didn't really mean to say that Lucy was a very lickable student."
Parents looking at that.
I was like, "Oh my God, start again."
That's something I'd do that though.
Oh, terrible, terrible. I wouldn't have even seen it.
Got to the log where Maddie has to read the longer questions.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, you get absolutely befuddled, don't you?
I get in the right
He
pickle.
makes up words. And actually, can we bring up the lead in bed?
Oh,
yeah, if you want. Oh, here we go.
Well, no. This is just.
Firstly, ask Paul if he thinks there's anything strange about it.
Yeah. If I said to you, "Where's Stuart?" "Oh, he's led in bed." Would that sound like normal to you?
Laid.
Thank you. So Stuart makes up words as well, and he just thinks they're normal. So we'll just be out somewhere, or be doing, something, be filming something, and he'll just come out with something, and I go, "Well, that's not a word. That's actually not a word, let alone spelled wrong. It's not even a word."
I've grown up with that. That's Bristol for you. So yeah, the cat's led in bed.
I'm just led in bed. I mean, you're not, because nobody's led in bed because it's not a thing.
Anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, I do a few of those. I do a few of those.
Yeah.
Is that a Bristol thing, led?
That's a Bristol thing. Yeah, I've heard other vloggers do it, but it's funny because I took Maddie to Tracy Park, which is where I grew up playing golf.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
And we stayed in there in the hotel, and it's the first time she caught me saying. She said, "Why do you say what is lead and what's all that about?" And I said, "Well, that just means you're lead over there or lead blah blah." And she said, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." So we went. I said, "Well, check this out." We went up to the barn. There was 2 girls and a guy behind the bar, and I said, "What would you say if somebody was over there sleeping or sat on the sofa and they were like led over there or something?"
Couldn't believe it.
She couldn't believe it. I said, "Well, it's Bristol."
Never in my life I heard somebody else say that, but yeah,
she's posh though, isn't she? Posh, innit?
That's why my best joke doesn't work in Bristol.
All right, go on. Expect me not to laugh.
Yeah.
Woke up this morning, 12 eggs at the bottom of bed. I knew I'd overlaid.
I like that. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Oh.
They'd be like overlaid.
I'll have to change it.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, that's a stinker.
That's a good one.
Where did you guys meet?
At a gig. That's a bit boring, isn't it?
She stalked me, Paul. She stalked me. She hounded me down, and she came to a gig, and that was it. All over.
It was actually business. It was a purely business to begin with, and I thought,
"Oh, that sounds bad."
These guys.
I feel abused.
Not that sort of business. I actually wanted to book some. I was a booking agent. That's what I did previously. This for musicians and festivals and that sort of thing. And so I'd had a tip off about his band. So I went along, and I think you thought I was coming up to you to get an autograph. And actually, I was like, "Look, don't worry about that. Should we book some gigs? Some other gigs, or can I book you some gigs?" So yeah. First met, yeah.
That's great, yeah. She didn't want an autograph.
Yeah, no thanks.
How
long ago was this?
Some years.
Quite a while.
Yeah, quite a long time, yeah, quite a long time.
About 10 years ago, yeah. Yeah, so we did before, when we met, we were touring the country, weren't we?
Yeah, we were all over the place, yeah.
Grand theatres, all sorts. It was quite fun.
How big was the band, like?
people in it or big stardom?
Should we get a picture of it? Is there
both.
Okay.
Oh, well, no, the stardom. I don't care how many's in it, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, it's 4 people. Yeah, it's, we did all the
main sort of theatres around the country.
Royal Albert Hall and all that sort of stuff. We like all the big halls, you know, around the country. Sorry?
Doncaster Dome.
We didn't do Doncaster.
No, we did play in Doncaster, but where did we play in Doncaster?
Did you? I don't even remember.
Like, if we weren't playing in the bigger theatres, we were playing, like, the slightly larger art centres and that kind of thing. So if we were in town, we were doing something that was kind of working.
It's near Doncaster.
I don't think there's any art centres in Donny.
No, I wasn't sure there was.
I'm sure it rings a bell. But anyway, yeah, we've been around, you know,
Harrogate, is that near to Doncaster?
It's not miles away. Leeds, isn't it, Harrogate?
Leeds, we did Leeds.
Did Leeds.
Harrogate, yeah.
Yeah, Manchester.
It was a while back now,
Anyway.
Sweet.
That was when I used to have a job. And that, you know.
So, you've had to cancel loads of gigs this year, haven't you?
90 gigs in 3 days. I cancelled all my work for pretty much 2 years.
Holy crap. So have you just written...
He's retired now. This is YouTube retirement.
That's it, YouTube. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I've got left now is YouTube. So.
YouTube.
That's one of the big things. You don't get old.
We should do our doorbell, shouldn't we?
I'm glad I've got YouTube because I've got, you know, I mean, that's it really now. I'm just kicking around. Should go mad if I want doing something.
I'm glad about it actually. God, give me something to do.
Yeah. I'll send you a clip of that, and you can every time you get a message, you go YouTube.
Oh
YouTube,
yes,
YouTube,
that's
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
put it on my phone ringer.
Subscriber, YouTube.
That is perfect. Yeah.
So how do you have ADHD and you can do a 23-hour edit?
I know.
It's
weird. Yeah, some things I get a bit sort of. As well, I'm sort of obsessive compulsive as well, and which is I know it's horrendous. That's why I kind of end up hitting golf balls all day long since I was a kid and playing guitar for hours and hours.
And you can practice for 5 hours at a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I heard a little debate today, or not debate, a little chat today on GMAC. And they were saying about practice, and they were saying, "Oh no, I can't be going to the range." Honestly, I could do 10 hours on a range so easy. Just sit there hitting balls. Love it.
Where are you on that debate? As people should practice more than play, or
it depends how much you want it, isn't it, and what you want out of it. I mean, I've always found practice therapeutic. Hitting golf balls, I'm just nothing happier. If we slip off to like the Caribbean or anywhere, I find a range and I'm there. I'm just hitting balls with anybody's clubs, not even my clubs. You know?
He is so obsessed about hitting balls. He does it in his sleep.
I do.
To the point it's actually starting to cause a little bit of a problem. And this is not even a joke.
She said this last night that she was going to mention it. I can't believe you have.
Well, I have to, because it's like I have to see if anybody else on the planet, he thinks it's normal. It's not normal.
I do driver jolts in bed.
So
not quite far. No. In my dreams, I always hit it straight, so I don't have to shout for.
Yeah, mine, Dad. No, it's just like maybe falling asleep. You know, I've been through my ASMR, hard to get to sleep. I've had my whistling. I've had my bath. I couldn't get to sleep half an hour.
Got your candles.
Sleep candles. Got all the atmosphere beautiful, quiet, and then suddenly it's like, what was that? And he's like, oh, sorry, I was just hitting some balls. Sorry. It's like, and it's every night, Paul, every night.
I don't know what she's talking about. We need a
specialist sort of counsellor or something.
I think she's lying.
What's the problem? He hits golf balls in bed. I mean,
she only has 2 hours sleep a night, and I ruin most of that.
It's a nightmare.
You have 5 hours rounds in your head.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, it is a bit. I do get sort of stuck into stuff.
I think we should put it out there for comments. Seriously, does anybody else have this problem? Because you're trying to convince me they do. I don't think they do.
I'm sure somebody might.
Anybody else playing golf while they're asleep and
sort of wake up after hitting a shot? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The better struggling to get to sleep. Is Stu one of them? Is asleep before he hits pillar?
Sometimes halfway through a sentence, and again, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking.
My worst one's on a plane. It's the second I sit down on a plane, I'm asleep. So I wake up and she's piled up all the food.
Yeah, the three trays last time. When we went to America last time, the air hostess actually got worried. She was like, oh, is he breathing? Is he actually okay? I'm like, yeah, don't worry, it's normal. It's normal. And she just kept stacking his food. I thought, sod this, I'm going to eat his food. So I ate 2 of the trays. that were meant to be for him. And I moved actually to the other aisle. I thought, sod it, it's no company, it's nobody to chat to. So I went and chatted to some other people.
Did you just walk off and leave him?
Oh, and he does open mouth snoring.
There is snoring.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Awful.
Did you play golf in his sleep on planes?
Yes. Oh, it was so embarrassing.
Oh
it
yeah.
Was so embarrassing. So what was this one?
I nearly broke a guy's jaw next to me.
Oh, it was awful. So I was to the left, you wasn't I? And we had this big guy to the right of you. Honestly, he did a real kicker, and his elbow came up, and this guy just was like, "Oh my God!" He got up. He didn't sit back down again for half an hour, did he?
It's freaked out.
I was like, "You've terrified him." He was just traumatized.
Is Stuart go straight back to sleep? That'd be right.
Yeah.
Piled up with.
Yeah, you're never bothered by it,
rubbish.
Are you?
So is it always the right elbow? Have you got to sleep at the other side of bed?
I'm getting worried. Like, I think, oh my God, what if I get a black eye or something?
She's exaggerating.
I'm
honestly.
not.
She said to me the other night, "I think you've broken a rib."
It did. It's violent. It's bad. I think we're going to have to get some sort of, maybe Ritalin or something.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'm up.
Yeah, some sort of drug.
Why? Right, I just didn't think we'd be going down that way.
Well, fair play. I tell you what,
this is like a log extended, isn't it?
Must
Zero golf content here.
Bored some people. You watch the drop off on this video. If they get through the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, well done, guys.
This is not a golf channel.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. He's scratching his head now. He's like, "Where do we go now? God. We've had the night job."
You talked about a TV project.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm still in. Well, you know what these things are like.
We're not really meant to allow to speak about that, are we?
Yeah, we kind of sign these NDAs. So there's a few projects we're going on now that we can't tell anybody about because we're contractually stopped. And I've actually, like, one of the projects, I've had to source a load of pro golfers as well to take part in it. And I've told all these guys about, something's going to happen and are they up for it? And it's going to be, TV and all the rest of it.
Wow.
And they're all like, yeah. And of course, now they're all coming back to me saying, what's going on? I was like, so there's quite a few projects that are floating about. And to be honest with you, if anybody knows anything about TV, it can get right to the very end and then just it gets stopped,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
so, I mean, luckily we usually get paid for doing a certain amount of it. So it's not like we're risking everything. So it's sort of quite nice in that respect.
If it happens,
that'd be a fun one. There's a few kind of fun ones in there.
Awesome. Sounds like you've got a few things in the pipeline.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, if one or two of them come out, again, with a lot of it, I'd imagine it will be bypassed through the channel because we can't even do behind the scenes or anything because it's all so sewn up until it's pretty much.
That's a bit James Bond, actually, isn't it?
What's that?
All the sign the non-disclosure thingy.
Yeah. I call you the James Bond of.
Yeah. Oh, don't bolster his ego.
I'm going to get an Aston Martin now. Yeah. That's what I need.
I've always called you that, though, haven't I? All the way back from the happy golfer.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's right. Yeah.
I've got USA stats up there because you were like last time. I don't know why people in America like me, and that's what I said because you like the James Bond of future.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's 80% Americans now. Man, it's getting worse. It used to be about 60%, but now it's getting worse and worse.
They like the accent, don't they?
But it's good. It's good for the old the money clicks, though. There's quite a
lot in America.
Yeah, it's good actually. Yeah.
Have you split that up and seen? Can you do it?
No. I'm just assuming because it's a majority, and when I hear what the other YouTubers get, I'm like, sort of 5 times what Corinne's getting, if you like. Is
the BPM thing or the RPM.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's something to do with that. I don't know.
I noticed like last 2 months, your subscribers are going up quicker now, aren't they?
It's you and your reviews, isn't it? You've started me off. I'm just turning into a review machine. I've got them backed up like the M25.
You've got a phone actually. You've helped.
Yeah, you have. You have helped a lot. I think it's funny because it's things that I think, yeah, of course. Because like if I look at my reviews, I think Arcos has got 40 or 50,000 views on it. And I think when you said like do another one, revisit it, which I've just done a really like in-depth one of that. You're dead right. They just sit there growing and growing and growing. And I spoke to somebody today because I end up selling quite a lot of R-Class units through what I do. And a guy I spoke to today from France, he said, "Yeah, I remember you from the original one in 2018 or something." Because I said, "Oh, you must have just seen my one that I put up the other day." And he was like, "No, it was from then." So he's obviously thought about it all this time. He's just got involved and bought one.
You see more subscribers coming from them than you do your regular vlogs?
I don't think so, actually. I hope. I think if I do 1 or 2 reviews a week, and they all, like, I think the tightest one's about 1,100 or something views in a week. So I think that's going to be on 10,000 really quickly. You know, as long as they stay current.
Yeah.
And
ratio is probably the same, but the reviews are getting more views.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's hard, isn't it? Because we like to have a laugh and a little bit of banter, as you can tell, and we are creative. So it's getting the balance of still getting that enjoyment out of maybe putting out some fun vlogs versus actually putting out reviews or more corporate stuff, or getting. I think like Rick Shields was saying, it's the different streams are really.
I was just going to say, did you see that?
And it was really interesting.
Yeah, and he's dead right. Yeah. I mean, if he just did course vlogs every week, he wouldn't be on 1.3 million.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how big a personality he may or may not be, there's no way in this genre that would work. But, you know, if you did it differently, obviously you could do pretty well. There's a few guys doing quite well at it, but I don't think you'd get the same thing. You've got to tick all those commercial boxes, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I get it. Most people, we all do it. I mean, I do it. If I'm looking at a driver, I'll stick it in YouTube, and whatever comes up, I'll end up watching for 10 minutes. You know, obviously you make your own decision at the end of the time. But if you watch 3 reviews of the same thing and they all say the same thing, then you think, oh, there must be some truth in it. You know.
Yeah.
I got to say though, I don't really like. It's not my forte reviewing, because I'm a sort of a bit of an old school golfer, really. I mean, for me, it's all about feel and sound and kind of looks, and less about, oh God, I just sometimes.
I think that's okay. We were discussing it earlier because you said there's one area where you didn't feel confident was that, but I think there's quite a lot of people out there that would maybe relate to that. Oh, as far as about the feel and it doesn't all have to be about stats, does it? I mean,
I do introducing videos. I don't do reviews.
Yeah, I saw that. That's good. That's good. But the thing is, you get these sort of shaft geeks, don't you? And you get all these kind of different variables, and yet the biggest variable is our own golf swing, you know. And so, especially and people, like everybody, it's infuriating, to be honest, because I've been on both sides of the line, is pro and amateur. Everybody confuses amateur golf with pro golf. Because we watch it on TV, and so we all think. I think most people think, oh well, I need this and I need that shaft and I need this club, and the MOI on this is this and that, and the sweet spot. But that is for Tony Finau to dial in. That's not for the 28 handicapper. No. It's just a different sport. It's just completely different. And it's good to get fit, because you may as well make it as good a fit as you can for yourself. But it's not everything.
No,
it's not. Even if you hit one particular club on one of your shots out of 10, 50 yards further, forget that. You know, look at the ones that we all hit all the time.
Yeah, your average.
Because you don't want to say to your mate all the time, "Oh yeah, but I'll rip one in a minute. It's going to be brilliant." They're going to laugh at you on the 5 in between. You know.
Yeah. So you're a bit wary. This is going to do this for your game.
It's not. I mean. Surely, I do the same reviews on other things, and it's just not going to do anything for your game. All the drivers at the moment, all of them at the top, I've tested them all now, and for my swing, which is fairly consistent over the years, it's nothing in it. It's a couple of yards here and a couple of yards there, and that is mainly to do with how you hit the shot, you know. And it's not really going to help you. They're all excellent clubs. But I totally understand when the guys who want a really expensive, latest kind of thing, we all want a nice gadget, don't we? We all want the nicest looking club. So it's all about marketing and what they make them look like. Because they're all if you look at the construction of them, they're all first class.
Yeah.
They've all spent loads of money on development. They're all pretty much the same shape. I mean, they go on about blooming wind tunnels and all that stuff. But, you know, that is not the variable that we need to be looking at, you know.
Maybe that's what you need then, just a ranking system where you say look, feel, shape, whatever, and you just mark it how you think it is, and not like.
Yeah, it's so personal. Also, like I said, all I can do as reviewer is to say what I think. And I think some people want to hear it, but I don't want them to confuse. Even on Twitter with the stats guys, they're always going on about the pro game. And the pro gets this is his proximity, and this is his this, and this is that. That is not a 28 handicapper's proximity or challenges. It's totally different. Like a 28 handicapper just don't want to top one every now and again. It's such a different sport.
Just want to make contact.
And most of the stats that most people got, apart from the Arcos type people, are on the pros game, you know. And like Mark Crossfield going on about, we want to hit it further because we want to do this. Just try and hit it near the sweet spot. Forget about all the rest of it. Let's just try and, like, the easiest part of all that is to try and swing and sort of match up our angles and try and hit out the centre of the club. And that is going to change nearly everybody's game, not an extra 40-mile-an-hour swing speed, which is brilliant to the people that hit it great all the time.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, at that level with small changes are going to make massive differences. But
oh, absolutely. I mean, I watched an interesting Alex Evans the other night. They were chatting. He was chatting with Paul Waring, and he's dead right. If like the pros gain proximity with a 7-iron is so minute. It's such a tiny difference between all of them, and the ones that win are the ones that kind of get it. I don't want to call it fluke, but the ones that are on, you know, on that event. But if they were hitting a 9-iron as opposed to a 7-iron, that would be a massive difference.
Yeah.
So they're saying if we can just get it another 20 yards, we would then be hitting a 9-iron, and then that would be much easier than hoping to outplay somebody with our 7-iron.
You're closer to the hole.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it. And I know that makes sense, but that doesn't make sense for amateurs. Because a 25 handicapper, if he hit it another 15 yards with his driver, he would be deeper into the out of bounds, you know.
Yeah. If you kite it straight.
Yeah, exactly.
So who do you watch on YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. It's funny.
Golf wise first, and then other channels, non-golf.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, because I was going to actually say that. I watch all manners.
Yeah. We can go some dark places.
Marble racing. Not to marble racing.
We love Josh Yeo, don't we?
We love Josh Yeo.
Have you seen him, Paul? Absolutely amazing.
Josh Yeo, yeah. Make Art Now, the channel. It's all about filmmaking and geekery.
Oh yeah.
I'll
check that out.
But they're standalone films in themselves. The sort of each vlog, like he does. They're really.
Yeah, he's very much take a month and produce a review. You know, and it's like amazing. But I hear all the other golf YouTubers are always a bit sort of like they're always a bit cagey about saying who they watch. I don't believe. Like I spoke to Dan. I love Dan. He's great and great lesson out with Dan. And I think he's got one of the better channels out there at the minute for sure. But Dan's like, I don't watch any other golf YouTube. I don't believe it.
No.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I mean, Rick's honest. When I speak to Rick, he's like, I watch everything. And you can tell that from the way he sat on a Zoom call from 5 tiny channels the other week, you know. And, you know, you have to. Like Dan was like, I don't really want to be sort of accused with copying people. And I said, that's not an issue. No one's going to care. No one's going to care. Everything's been done pretty much. It's how you do it with your personality that counts and why people watch. Course, and it's like yesterday's newspaper. Then it's gone. It's just kind of gone. It's floating out there. You know, it's no big deal. Like James Robinson, I'm sure he doesn't put something out and think, oh God, that's going to be sat on my channel for years. It's just gone the next day because you keep.
You're on to the next video, like bang.
Yeah, you're on it. It's behind them.
You're a content smasher. You just like worried about.
We honestly watch almost a little bit of everybody, don't we?
Yeah, we watch
now and then.
Like I got to admit, I don't sit through loads, but you know, if Corinne puts a channel something up, I'll watch a bit of it, and that's brilliant. And I'll watch a bit of. I like Alex Evans. I think he's funny, and he's kind of where I am with my golf as well, kind of thing. If you like, I'm a bit older, obviously, but
not the champion golfer, or not yet the champion golfer, is it?
Yeah, not the champion golfer. So I can relate to Alex quite well with what he's doing.
I do like watching Eric. I like watching some because I enjoy watching well-made films, sort of a little bit.
Yeah, the Random Golf Club it's called now.
Yeah, Random Golf Club. So certainly his New Zealand ones, because I went to similar areas in New Zealand, I just thought, you know, they're beautifully made. They highlight the area as well as the golf, the sort of drone shots, everything really. So we enjoy it.
We do, but I would say there with Eric there is a little bit of better lives than yours, and sometimes that's quite nice for a bit of escapism, but eventually it becomes a bit grating.
I don't mind that.
You know, she don't mind
I
it.
don't mind it.
Like when he's there saying, I'm going to like Tailor-Made Kingdom to get my clubs fitted.
You're like, I'm out.
And I'm playing Augusta. I'm like,
forget it.
Because it's almost something that you can, like, give me a goal and I'm going to go for it. But if it's just not like, you know.
I actually genuinely, I like it for the film, the quality of how the films are made, because I know him and Stuart went to film school, didn't they? And I mean, I think it shows. I agree. I wouldn't want to necessarily just sit and watch all of them, but some of his films are brilliantly made. You know,
I think it's positive. I do get a little bit envious. I do feel like I can do that. You know, but I won't. I wouldn't get the reward for it at the moment, because I feel like obviously Eric's got his brand and he had his you know, all the things that he's done over his life, which was totally understandable. Deserved to be where he is, but you know, I do start to feel it's quite easy to kind of compare other channels with yourself, and you think, well, you know, I play better than that, you know, and I'm able to put my point across better than that, and I can film better and edit better, and yet they've got like 100,000 subscribers and I've got one. You know, you just think this is not right, because in golf you play good, you beat everybody, and you get where you're going to be because people notice. And it's you know, it's kind of a much more quantifiable thing.
So you bit more competitive. You look at it competitively, whereas I don't mind. I'll watch somebody tiny or somebody big.
Well, I sort of feel, as we would all do, I sort of feel it's a bit unfair. I think, well, if I can do all those things and better than that, you know, it's like, why is it that we don't get pushed by YouTube? But I know the game. It's like one of those things, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, YouTube doesn't care if people are watching your videos, they're going to keep pushing you.
Yeah, yeah.
That was interesting, because last year you said with golf, you felt like everybody was against you when you went to an event.
Yeah, well, that doesn't change. That's going to be golf forever.
In music, you felt like everybody were together.
In YouTube, I do. Yeah, I think it's changing. I think it's a really great community. I love the people in it, and it's a shame. So I went to that Rick Shields Golf Day just a bit too early, and so it was nice to meet everybody, and Eric, and you know, and Liam, and all these people, and it was nice to say that I've met them, and now if I connect with them, like in DMs and stuff, at least there's that bit of a connection. But I feel like if it was now, I would know so much more, and I would be able to kind of give more value to those guys as well, you know, because I feel like some of the things that I have done and sort of interact over is useful to everybody, really, you know, as opposed to before I was just thinking, what's going on? This is weird, you know. Just getting drunk with, like, you know, those guys.
Do you feel like a proper YouTuber now?
YouTuber.
I feel like I've made enough mistakes to feel like one, if you like.
You've done your apprenticeship.
Yeah. I feel like if I spoke with a pro, he wouldn't pull the wool over my eyes now. You know, I just, you know, I know enough to know that I don't know everything. Yeah. I know enough to know that I can, you know, I know what's going on, what the crack is, you know.
Do you think you would have, like, if you did another Rick Shields, if that golf day was this year, do you think you'd be looking at different things like camera angles and?
Yeah, I do entirely.
Yeah, there would be a lot. Yeah. And I think that aspect is overlooked, to be honest, in golf, and I think it's something that can be abused. I know Eric's doing. I know that Andy, Average Golfer, and Lloyd and Fifi, they're all going that sort of direction. But I think that, like, when people say just grab your iPhone and record yourself, that's nice, but that should almost be the creative process. That should be partly what it's all about, you know, and the pride that you have. It's like when people say, oh, well, we want to dress nicely to play golf because we feel proud about playing golf and stuff. I think if you're going to do a vlog, or you're going to try and get somebody to watch some entertainment or something that you're going to do, I feel like at least make it nice, you know, try and make the audio nice and make it as slick as you possibly can. Even if you can only afford an iPhone, just do the best you can with it and learn how to use it. And do you know what I mean? And be proud of it, of everything you've done. And I think that's a nice goal, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to grow from. The first video is iPhone. The second, or the 20th, is probably iPhone with a microphone on it, and then
I like the idea of not stopping people because they haven't got all the kit. Because you can get into the kit and think, oh, well, I don't want to do it because I want this, and you know, like the last sort of corporate type video we did was ridiculous. I ended up phoning a company the other side of the country and got them to bring down by courier this bit of kit. that I thought I needed. And like on the day, it was chaos. Like, you know, it was mad. You know, everything goes out the window, and all these great plans were changed. You know, so that was a classic. You know, I thought I couldn't do it without this bit.
You've got to get past a certain amount of videos, aren't you? You've got to, even just to see if it's a good idea. Like, how many candle videos do you think we're going to need to go, this is a good idea?
Plenty. It's brilliant though, because it's the best way to be able to look back at what you were doing, you know, and see exactly what, I mean, it would be quite funny if we watched a few of our early ones. I can remember like getting microphone knocks and wind noise and like tripods falling out, literally all the funny little mistakes, bad angles, bad lights.
I did loads with a knife, with a GoPro. I just thought, I can't believe that was my...
stabilisation, just running along, wobbling all over the place.
That was my main camera. My main camera for a long time. And
wobbling, making people feel sick.
And because I had no shot tracer tool, I was just hitting balls with nobody really filming it. You know, I was zooming in on it. It could have gone anywhere. And so when I look back, I think, well, how do they know that I hit it to whatever I hit it to?
Yeah.
So what I used to do is walking up to the green, I would leave the camera running and talk to make sure it was all one shot. So when I got to the green, I could go, and there's the ball. You know, and I thought,
where it is,
yeah. And then I thought, well, I've just chatted all that time. That must be boring people to death.
Are
you
a
Top Bloke fan?
It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. It is a bit of a guilty pleasure.
He likes him.
I some things, I know why he does a lot of it, you know, and I know some things are close to the bone, but I mean, he could literally say anything he wanted about, you know, us. I wouldn't care at all, you know, but it depends. Especially when I heard you with Fergs the other night, I know everybody's very different. I've always been sort of very confident because I've been a performer as well. So you just get used to it, and you know that that's the way it is.
And
so
you get feedback, because that was kind of one of Ferg's things, wasn't it?
It was what?
He couldn't take the negative feedback, could he?
Yeah, and some people, if you're a bit, I'm not saying he's insecure, but if you're more that sort of personality, then actually that would be quite hard. I mean, I think we just don't really give a crap.
Yeah, you would. Well, but I don't think it's not healthy to push yourself into that position, because, like you said, if one comment's going to do your head in, then that's the only one you're going to think about. You won't think about all the other ones. You know, and there's always, like, some people are lovely and they comment, you know, so nice, but some people really will only complain because they feel like they will only be heard if there's a complaint going on. Oh, why did you do this? And then it sort of sets off a bit of sort of interaction. And I kind of get that, the sort of keyboard warriors, you know.
Yeah, it's like that imposter. If you feel like a bit of an imposter in doing something, because I think it was a comment that, how are you like a so-and-so handicapper doing club reviews or something like that, isn't it?
That's just a joke. It's like, mate, you're getting this for free. You know, I always think to myself,
turn off.
Just turn off. Just don't bother. Don't bother. It's fine. You don't have to keep, you know.
I've had a few. So, and on Monday morning, if I get a bad comment on a Sunday night, that's when they'll get flamed.
The thing is, I do the opposite. I kill them with love. And they end up like, they always end up coming back so sort of distraught by, well, not distraught by it, but I always get a feedback after that of, oh, well, thanks so much for that explanation. Like, one guy said to me, I did I thought was quite a good thing, and then he came up and he says, I don't know why on YouTube golf, why it is that people think that they have to have music playing around the back. It's all very clever, but we don't want to hear it, you know?
I was going to watch you, but now I'm not going to watch you.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I just go back saying, oh my God, I'm just so sorry. This is awful. I said, one thing is I had problems with my mic, so I wanted to hide that. So there was a few technical problems. Some of it, like a drone, doesn't actually have a microphone on it. So if you just had a drone shot, there would be no sound. And that would be a bit weird. So, you know, and when I say explained everything, he was just like, oh, I didn't know any of that, you know. And I
would have just put, well, piss off then.
I know. I could have, I know.
I think we learned, because we've always been in jobs, be it running festivals or playing music, where you just basically are exposing your soul somewhat to a large group of people. It's just, you learn different tricks of human psychology, basically. And so quite a long time ago, I think we started we didn't get much, would we? But after festivals, you normally get a few complaints. So we just started basically being nice to them, and it made us feel better. And generally, they reacted better to it. So
it's funny, and I kind of get like a kick out of that reply, You know, I get a kick out of like really going to town, and Maddie's like, "Why are you spending all this time doing that?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just loving this."
I think he actually overdoes it a little bit, but you know, it's better than treating hate with hate, isn't it?
Yeah,
most people just want to be loved. You know what I mean? Like the people,
attention. They just want attention.
Yeah, the people that you bump into that like in a bar or something, and they just. You see it so many times, you know, they're having a massive bust up with someone and they all get together and it's all fine and they're cuddling their best of mates, you know. They just, you know, want a bit of love, really, at the end of the day.
Everybody comes on this, not everybody, that's wrong, but some people come on this thinking they're going to be really controversial and they never are. They're always sort of backtrack. I've got G-Mac and Owen tomorrow. I think Owen's ready to fire off, but...
okay.
We'll look out for that.
Yeah, do you know what? It's fun to watch. I got to say, it's really good. Those people that let fly, but generally the people that let fly are, you know, it's just kind of they're sort of stuck in a place where they're sort of a little bit frustrated by things, and you know.
Do you think it's very tactical? So Top Bloke, do you think it's just because it was a niche, it was a gap in the market,
and he's done well.
The way
he's earning about 400 quid a video at the moment.
Yeah, the problem he's got is his thing now, though, isn't it?
Yes, you're not ever going to go corporate or anywhere else.
But if you look in his comments, he's got a whole army of him. They'll love it. They're like going in boots left, right, and centre. But and do you know what? Some of it, I've got to say, some of it actually is quite close to the truth. You know, I know he bends it and he's a little bit sort of mean, but sometimes he'll say something. I was like, oh no, that's kind of what I thought, but I would never say it. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah, he tried to split his channel, didn't he, into
Top
Bloke and Golf.
Oh, did he? And it didn't work?
He called it Golf Burp and then wanted that to be the really bad stuff. And then I think he wanted to play more golf on the main channel.
Yeah.
But, that'd been horrible to him. Nobody wants to watch him play golf anymore.
No, they just want to hear him bitch people up.
Blame people.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it's like. You see one of his kind of thumbnails pop out and you think, oh, God, I'll have a look. You know, I mean...
It's like
I'm watching that.
Yeah, I know. It's like that. Exactly.
It's like picking up Hello or something like that. It's just having a look at the gossip.
Yeah. If you saw a front cover of a headline saying, whoever, he's a really nice guy. You know, you wouldn't look at it, would you? But then we just love horror stories, don't we? We like, this guy is an absolute git, you know. We didn't think he was, whoever.
You know, you've made it as a YouTuber when you've either been in a Top Bloke video or Paul Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
I think you're probably making an appearance in the next Paul Jackson one.
He made us laugh so much.
He just kills me.
Oh God!
I was chatting with him in the bar, and he asked. We were chatting about going to Dubai and doing something over, having a laugh, playing some golf in Dubai, and we were drinking away. And then he said something about Dubai, and I said, "All right, I'll get your drink." I thought you said you go into the bar. In other words, it was my round. But he'd actually said he could go to Dubai.
Dubai, not Dubai.
He got his accent wrong.
This northern south thing. Your turn to buy, mate. Well, we're going to Dubai.
What is with the northern southern thing? It's weird, isn't it?
There's not many of us versus the north.
Well, I think about it, and I think. Did we start it off and then you guys just took it over? Like, was it Mark Crossfield? I don't know.
Yeah, Crossfield was definitely the first, wasn't he?
Yeah, because every time I say, oh, well, it's a lot more kind of a lot more northern guys doing YouTube when you see Pete Finch and all those guys. And then people say, yeah, but what about Mark Crossfield? I mean,
yeah. That somebody said if you walk around Manchester, anybody with a golf bag is going to be carrying a camera. I can't remember who said that. There's that many.
That's funny.
The trip though, did you see that we were trying to get a team together for take on the Bogey Brothers, and your name came up straight away when it was in California or
yeah.
Don't you usually go out that way somewhere? You've got friends there, haven't you?
We go there. I used to run a festival. I did a festival for 5 years. We shut a whole street down in Las Vegas for a music festival.
We're almost more sad about not being able to go out to California this year than not getting married.
I know that you was chatting to Paul about going over there. I once stayed 40 days in MGM in a row.
Holy crap!
I know.
Done a week.
Yeah. Horrendous. But yeah, no, we like it. We got a lot of friends there, so it's like a home from home. It's a bit different because when we go there, we often will stay in friends' houses and stuff. So we're like in Costco doing the shopping. I'm like, this ought to be a holiday, really.
Cleaning it out for them.
Nice golf courses.
Gary asked a question, didn't he, about golf? The midnight golfer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The best amateur golfer you've played with, and do they make money in secret?
No. As soon as you get into the England squad and that sort of elite area, you don't need to buy golf balls and golf bags and stuff like that. I mean, that's the first thing, obviously, because that's quite an expense, isn't it? Most clubs,
that's the thing when you're playing 5 hours at range, you're not paying $5 for a bucket of balls, are you?
No, I wouldn't be doing that. No, so yeah,
I wouldn't be doing that.
There are perks, but generally speaking, once the England grab hold of you, you get a lot of trips abroad, and you get a lot of your kit paid for, and your tournament entries are paid for. And so, yeah, when you're the top elite guys, you're not getting wages.
Yeah.
But usually you're young enough that you just kind of come out of school or college, and it's not like I'm going to jack in a 50 grand a year job to play golf. You know, it's not a loss in income.
Selling Mars bars.
Yeah, you'd be either that or selling Mars bars. Yeah. I went the Mars bar route. I thought, but yeah. So yeah, best amateur golfers, and they're always rotating, aren't they? Mitch Waite's doing really well. He was on the European Tour the other week. I guess the best person would be Gary Woodson-Holm, who had on the channel once. He was the last amateur to beat Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the Walker Cup, the 18th hole. Yeah, amazing. So and Tiger he'd won 2 or 3 US amateurs in a row and was just an absolute, already a superstar. And he was playing on the PGA Tour and stuff.
And that's the best amateur you've played with? Gary
beat him. Yeah, and so he was the amateur. So I think Gary Wilson was pretty much the best amateur still to this day that we've had with what he's done. Made numerous Walker Cup sides and won everything. Played in the Masters. And he was leading.
I've got some things written here. You'll like this, Maddie. Because we were talking about your scores. You obviously did a crazy. What was that vlog you did, like shooting 61 or something around Celtic Manor?
62, yeah.
Yeah. So I've written, are you still as flexible as a 16-year-old?
I like that. Is that aimed at me or at Stu? Stu is.
Yeah, I'm weirdly flexible.
This is another thing. You've got a lot of things actually chopped up, haven't you? The OCDs and the ADHDs. He's got weird flexibility.
Yeah, I did, because I used to do a lot of gym and workout stuff when I was younger, and then I stopped. Yeah. And when I stopped golf for about 5 years, and I went and did a TPI coaching session. I thought to myself, look, I'll get back into it. I'd like to do some senior pro golf or something. That's what I had in my mind. And so I went to the coach in Ross-on-Wye that I was chatting about earlier, which Maddie was going to become.
I knew something was going on because I've been doing yoga for about 6 years and, trying to do just some quite extreme moves. And Stu's like, oh, let me just have a go at that. Immediate extreme level, not even any practice or anything. So I just thought.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so I go into the golf course to the TPI play to
pointing at feeling.
Ross, yeah, and so
he's got his legs around his head and his like.
He put me through the TPI test, and he was giving me all these things to do, and they seemed they were quite easy for myself. Let's just say, like putting poles across your shoulder and doing this and doing that, and like bending your hand. And each one he asked me to do, I was like, well, this is not very difficult. I was expecting to have to lift weights and do all that kind of stuff, which I knew I wouldn't be up to shape at that time. And Tim came out after doing all the thing, and he said, right, okay, well, flexibility is not your problem. And I was like, oh, really? He said, like, yeah, you're like top 5% in the world flexible as far as golfers are concerned. I think like Dustin Johnson's like 2% or something, and I was not far behind. I was like, that's mad. He said, yeah, well, I've got 18-year-old students that couldn't touch this. He said, like, well, that's just a fluke then. It's got nothing to do
with a 16-year-old.
Just genetics.
So he actually does have possibly better than 16-year-old flexibility. Yeah, like a 3-year-old. When they just like eat their toes and stuff. Like, Yeah.
Firefly. I want to see Firefly. Can you do that yoga move?
Firefly? I don't know any yoga moves.
You got to put your hands down and your elbow have got to go above your elbows.
Yeah, my sons can do that actually, randomly. I'm not going to go and drag them in. I'll get Stuart. I'll give it a go.
I'll give it a go. I'm playing golf tomorrow.
I'll set him up for a few yoga poses, and we'll put them up.
Yeah. As we go into next year, all I want to see is Stuart doing Firefly.
Yeah. Okay. We'll bear that in mind.
But it might all go. You never know.
Where's the golf game at? And is it on the eye of being back in comps, or is it?
Yeah, it's a weird. Well, I played twice in the last 3 days, and I was 3 under and 4 under. So the game's pretty good. I would say the caveat on that is we were playing off the like a forward tee, but it wasn't back on the championship tees because the balls were plugging. It was like a bit of fun, but yeah, I'm playing quite well at the moment, which is nice. But
I bet that annoyed Matt. You didn't tell me that.
No, yeah.
Well, for you there, Maddie. He's doing 7 under.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
got a bit of work to do there.
But it is a bit weird with the handicap system now. I think it's I don't know. I've kind of lost a little bit of.
Open qualifying. Did you have your eye on that last year or this year? Have you still?
I've done a few of those. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if I'm honest, I think you've got to pick. This is what I was saying earlier about enjoyment with golf. I think you've got to pitch yourself in with people that are either kind of the same standard as you or just slightly better for you to enjoy things. You know. Yeah. And I think it's the same thing. If I compare myself to a 25-year-old guy, I'm gonna struggle to compete a long time with those guys if they're they've got a similar amount of talent, let's say. So whereas if I put myself against a 50-year-old, I'm up there. I'm probably a longer hitter and straighter, better short game than a lot of senior players.
Who is the tour?
Yeah. I mean, I think my stats would be. Yeah, I mean, I've got a year to go, but my stats are up there with that sort of kind of quality of player. If you put me back on a sort of 7,600-yard course and I've got to shoot 62, it's going to be very tricky to do that. And all I'm going to do is set myself up to be a bit disappointed, I mean, it doesn't get to me any more golf. I don't really care that much, but,
Create, don't compete. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think the golf thing's the same. I think I put a tweet out the other day saying golf's only hard if you think you're better than you are, and people, like if somebody gave me like a 5 handicap now, I'd just be great. Just like go out there, be fun. I can just like mess about, hit it one-handed and stuff. But if I try and play off +5 now, I'm going to be disappointed.
Right,
often than not.
But do you think you can get some invites off a European tour or anything like that? So
no, I'm no one.
Bring your camera seniors though.
No, I'm a no one. And I've had this conversation with
You're a YouTuber.
Well, I'm a YouTuber. Yeah. Well, give it. It might be different. I might get some invites like sort of Pete Finch does and stuff. But maybe in the future. But to be honest, if I was going to watch a seniors tour event, I wouldn't want to see Nobber from Celtic Manor knock it round. No matter how good that score was, I want to see him Woosnam, a legend, or.
It's more than that, isn't it? Having known what it's like when you are playing seriously or competing, it's the dedication you need to even consider going on a tour. We're family people. We've got 4 kids. We just like having a bit of banter sitting in our cottage. You go out and play a lot of golf, don't you? Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. As you get older, if you can go straight into a tour. I mean, that's full on. That is a full on schedule, isn't it?
Yeah, I would want to. If I was going to take it really seriously, like people say to me, "Oh, you're going to turn pro. You're going to try and do seniors tour and stuff like that." If I was to do that, and knowing what I'm like again, I would want to outwork and out gym and all of them, and by kind of double, and. You've got to play to your strengths, and if I'm able to hit lots of balls, I would, and it would turn into something that I've not got that bug in me, get on with it. You've got, you wouldn't see your family at all. I would want to be fully dedicated, and I just don't want to even start it. I always said I never got into drugs, but if I did, I'd be the best drug taker ever. So
I would be.
Yeah,
he'd be on the whiz, Paul. He'd be on the whiz.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. Get on the whiz.
Yeah. So I've got to be careful what I do and what I say I'm going to do.
So it's a Happy Me show. So the next year, what is the ideal? The what makes you happy me?
Yeah, it's pretty. It's again, you know, you almost don't say it, but I'd like to get the channel to a point where I guess I'm fully proud with everything, and I'd like to get to a point where at least what I do is better quality than everybody else's. I mean, I can't dictate how many people are going to come and watch it, but I feel like...
Do you think in numbers at all? Do you think like, oh, I'd like to be 5,000 subs? Or not really?
It's not relatable to what we're doing. That's the trouble.
Paul's asking questions.
Yeah, sorry. I've got two now.
Sorry.
No, I will get a wine.
Yeah, drink a wine.
I feel like I'd like to get to a point financially where it's paying for itself, or more than paying for itself. So that is a goal. I think as far as attracting subscribers, it is, as we've already said, it's not relatable to what the content you're doing. I think that if you can whack out amazing content that you're proud of, and it just looks like looks great, you know, or as good or better than anybody else's, that's got to be the competitive goal for me, anyway. You know, that's what gets you out of bed and keeps creating. Yeah, I think I'd like to be in a room full of creators, and if someone says to me, "Well, I've got 1 million subscribers," I can say, "But my quality is better." You know, I'd like to have something that you can do. As far as not so much entertainment, because that's objective, you know, but if you can get it to a point where you think, well, I couldn't really have done much better, you know. Yeah. You won't be led in bed.
Led in bed.
Led in bed.
Yeah.
And Maddie's going to be off scratch.
Looking forward to Maddie. Yeah. To be fair, Maddie, I thought he might have let you go first there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well.
Where's Maddie's happy me? Married?
Maybe if we're allowed.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. That's not even just my opinion.
The YouTube channel's on a prenup.
That's if.
How you do it in Vegas? Because we were talking about Neil and Corinne doing the nuptials again, and we were all going to dress as Elvis in Vegas.
Oh, that sounds like a brilliant idea.
Cool. Yeah.
We
YouTubers.
All the YouTubers. We did consider Vegas, actually, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And then it's tricky because you want all your mates and all your family and everything. So maybe we'll do both.
My best man's from California. So
yeah, he's got to get over here somewhere.
He's got to come this way. You know.
I actually think, genuinely, because we've got some exciting projects, I am curious if we had a little time machine, see how we get on next year. It'll be interesting to see which ones have worked and which ones haven't. But yeah.
This is our joint business. This is a full-on business. It has been for a while, though.
Yeah, I think it's just a reflection. Like, we just like discussing career. We just are creative together, aren't we? We like, you know, art. We like photography. We like making stuff. So I think it quite naturally went that way. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm running the business, but we sort of bounce off each other, and we get. I think because I was like an agent before, I've got a few things. Trying to give the idea of making it a little bit more corporate, or reaching out for resorts, or that sort of thing. I think perhaps that's a bit of my influence.
I think golf. I think a golf channel. All it is really is I just so happens to be good at it. So you know, it seems like an idea thing to record and make kind of art out of. But I think more than anything, it's just literally because we just like creating things more than anything.
Yeah,
and it just seemed like that only thing that we could probably do.
Yeah,
you know,
we just have a right laugh doing it. We love it. So I think it's sort of naturally fallen that way. But it would be nice, having said that, if it does financially pay off as well, you know, like most people would think. That's another bonus. So yeah, I think
that's nice. To be honest, I think with all of this, as you probably know more than anybody, longevity in this sport, if you like, is you know, it's going to happen. It'll get to a point where, you know, you got to look at any of the people in the past that have just kept going. Yeah. Like, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years. You know, when you say, what's your year plan? I mean, I think I can see things better in 5 years. If nothing happens in a year, it doesn't. But I feel like it will eventually. So I'm not. I mean, I know it will happen, but it's just when. You're
pretty good at not giving up on things, judging by the standard of your guitar and your golf. It's a weird thing. There's certain. I had to read about the whole ADHD thing, and within that, people are often very good at being obsessive over one or two things, which Stu was definitely good at that. So I feel like I've got complete faith in you that you're not going to give up on it. I just know you won't. You know,
when I started a channel, there was 3 or 4 of my friends that were all going to start channels at the same time.
Yeah.
And none of them got a video up. And you know, and my plan was to do one every year for 2 years, and it seemed crazy at the time, but
that's what Joe Rogan says. Just turn up.
Just keep
turning
going.
up is most of it, isn't it?
But now, trouble is now is I've gone, okay, well, I'm not making, like, my profession is kind of died at the moment. So now I'm almost thinking I want to do 3 or 4 good quality things a week. That suddenly it's like taking over your life, isn't it? It's getting quite big as far as edit's concerned.
But you dropped in there, didn't you? You dropped in it. Maddie said you love creating. That's creating. It's like you just keep creating, don't you? Create.
Keep going. But like I said before, everybody kind of does want to be loved. You know, we do want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. We want to make sure that people are enjoying it. And I think that's, like I said to you before, what I never liked about sport and golf is that it was everybody against you, and you're not given anything apart from a few people that were behind you and maybe a few spectators. Generally speaking, your competitors didn't really want you to do very well. Whereas I feel in this sport, and certainly the entertainment game, you're given it. And in this sport, it's for free. You know, it's like you're doing your very best and you're giving it away for free. And I think that's sort of, there's something so honest in that, you know, because especially with YouTube itself, it's kind of a whole, everybody's honest about what they earn. You can find out what people earn. And it's not the same as, you know, it's so open and so transparent. I think that's another nice thing about it. Like if you try to find out what your bank manager earns, it's, you know, you can then decide whether he's earning too much or not enough, but you wouldn't be privy to that information. Whereas like YouTube, you can quickly find out what people are earning. And
you have an educated guess, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's great, you know, because you can be honest. You can say, well, you see how many subscribers, how many views I get. I mean, apart from the work outside of that, which would bolster that up, you know, you know roughly what it is, you know, and certainly the big guns as well. I think that's a nice angle, you know.
Exactly. Well, it'll be interesting when we do this time next year.
Yeah, we'll have the candle YouTube going and the soaps. Stu will have his apron on.
Yeah, I'll be doing I'll be flicking me dog pose, whatever it is.
There'll be merch everywhere.
Downward dog.
Downward dog. I'm doing a downward dog at the
Firefly is the challenge. Got to see a 16-year-old flexibility knocking out Firefly.
Yeah, I'll get him on a few of those.
I'll look that up straight away.
Well, it was great to have you on again. Channel's awesome, and I think you know that I do watch your stuff because I comment as I watch.
Yeah, you do. It's weird. They're coming in, and I'm like, "Was he not seen the rest?"
I like that.
I do the same, and I said this the other week as well. I always try, everybody I see, I look at their video and I like it and I try and make a comment. Yeah. Even if it's Rick or SAS Golf or any of those guys right down through, I will always at least show faith because I want everybody to do well. The more people that watch, the more subscribers that are out there for every channel, the more there will be to go round. So I think if we could get Rick up to 10 million, that'd be fantastic. Because
you're a big more for us. You like that he's head of the game.
Oh, brilliant. I love it. Yeah, he's a great ambassador as well. He's perfect for the sport, I think. You know, because if he was really controversial, it'd be fun. But at the same time, you know, you don't want your kids to watch him. You know, you kind of need somebody out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of room in the world for us all to be great, isn't there? So.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Especially YouTube.
YouTube. You're a great interviewer,
It's
Paul.
massive, yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Somebody
said to me today I need to do a Parkinson... what was it?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, when this COVID stuff's gone, you've got to get the live one with the seat and everything.
I'm going to do I'm going to do a Sun Life advert flogging Parker Penn.
We'll watch that.
Yeah, that scares me, that though, doing it live, because this is just turned Zoom on.
I actually think that's a really good idea. You should. That is a good idea. I think you're really good at it. You're the man for the job.
An audience with, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be dead up for that. And we've got to organise some trips as well. I've met a few of the guys, you know, play with Fergs and, you know, obviously I met Corin and Paul and all the rest of it. So
yeah, I was supposed to be at Big Oggy's Day.
Oh, what happened? Was it the
well, it was kicking off again, wasn't it? And it was looking like they were going to put us in lockdown.
Yeah, it was tricky.
Me and my mate Mick, and he was going to do the driving. And before we organised it, I just went, I think they're going to pull it. I don't want to do all organising. And last minute to say, it's one of them things. If I hadn't cancelled it, it would have been cancelled. But
yeah.
when I cancelled it, it went off fine, didn't it?
Yeah, it's called Sod's Law, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. But,
yeah, it was a good day actually. It was a good day. Yeah, we had a lot going on around that time as well, and I was like, we can't let them down. We have to go down there. I mean,
it was your birthday, wasn't it?
And it's on my birthday as well, which is good.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it's a really good day.
I've got family in Bristol, like, so we'll definitely be heading down Bristol. And
they led in bed. Ask them.
Right.
Overlaid.
Well, if you said to her, "Oh, are they led in bed?" I bet nobody in the room flinches.
Give them a test. Yeah.
Nobody led in bed in your house if you're getting hit by 4 irons at 3 o'clock in the morning. We won't forget that one for next year.
Yeah, that'll still be there, I think.
Thanks a lot, and like I say, we'll definitely hook up sometime this year, next year even.
Cheers. Good luck to everybody.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.